Hi, this is Ken here from RD Labs. Hope this is reaching you well. Coming to you with another one. Just in Dubai at the moment, having a fantastic time. Real phenomenal hub for technology taking place now. So a lot going on. Today I wanted to have a chat about the L2 wars that's taking place now and really focus on Optimism, ticker symbol OP. So L2 play here and just obviously explain what's going on. Yesterday we saw the unlock of quite a lot of tokens that's been released into the market that clearly has had a considerable impact on the price. So these unlocks were literally about 9% of the total supply. And this was obviously provided to the early investors. So like the VCs, like Paradigm, like a lot of projects like that heavily funded, and also other contributors in the space. And clearly we've seen a real sell-off that really took place here, looking at a daily time frame, from that $2.80, which was only literally about 6 weeks ago. And we've now really moved a huge, quite a strong sell-off all the way down to about $1.35 at the lows. We're now trading about $1.41 at the moment. It's just holding around the previous high of November 2022 and September 2022. So this is like a support that it's holding. We've got a bit of a bullish divergence as well on the price. So we'll see how this will interact. There still seems to be a certain amount of the unlock that still hasn't been claimed yet. So there could be maybe a little bit more bleeding, but it's really sold off. What's going to be interesting now is that there is actually an upgrade taking place. So this is basically the bedrock upgrade taking place on Optimism on the 6th of June. So literally in about 5 days or so. And the ultimate aim is what's going to happen is going to be reduction in gas fees, multi-proof design, unlock client diversity, enhance the security. So this is going to have quite a major impact, I believe, on the ecosystem. If we take a look at their docs further, we can see that the lowering of the fees, as I mentioned, is actually going to work out. That Bedrock also removes all L1 exchange execution gas, which is very, very important. Reducing L1 data fees. This reduces fees by additional 10% over the previous version of the protocol. So we're going to see some drastic changes and a decrease. I think it's been like a 10x reduction in the fees, which is going to be phenomenal. They're also an introduction to the support for the L1 reorgs of the node software, which basically is going to increase, aim for the deposit times to go, which is from 10 minutes at the moment, and decrease drastically to 3 minutes deposit times, which is going to be fantastic. There's going to be an improvement in the proof modularity from the abstracts of the proof system, which is based on the OP stack. And this is really focused on the whole roll-up aspect for fault proof or validity proof for ZK snarks. This is what's really building up, and a lot of other L2 plays are really trying to focus on this. So there's going to be a major improvement there. Then obviously node performance that's taken place. So the current transaction volume, this reduces state growth by approximately 15 gigabytes per year. Massive improvements, removing the need for separate data transport layer node to index L1. So this can be more efficient, and also improving the Ethereum equivalence there. As you can see here from the one transaction per block model, custom OP codes, separate L1, L2 fee fields, a custom ERC20 representation. So there's a lot of things in the work that's taken place. So this is going to have a massive, I believe, quite a huge impact to the ecosystem that we're obviously going to see that's going to actually take shape. So based on that, not only are we seeing the upgrade that's going to be on the 6th of June, thereafter there's been quite a lot of partnerships that's been taking place within the OP, so Optimism ecosystem. So we've had Base. So Base is basically the Coinbase-backed Base, which essentially is a blockchain network. And they're obviously going to be launching a mainnet after the upgrade takes place. And then obviously, the audits that they have to go through and so on and so forth. So um, as they're saying here, is completion of reviews and so on and so forth, and that's where the schedule's taking place. So the ultimate aim is the reason why. So they're building on the Optimism development software stack, and it's designed to serve as a roll-up network. So Base is going to be a roll-up network similar to Optimism. So it's interesting how they're actually building, but it aims to execute off-chain computations on a secondary layer to facilitate faster, cheaper transactions. So they're building on the OP stack after the upgrade, but the execution is going to be off-chain to essentially have for cheaper transactions. So it's quite interesting what's happening here. We're going to follow the growth of Base very, very carefully to see how it transpires. We're hearing that like DeFi platforms such as Uniswap, Aava are literally considering deploying on Base once it goes live. So they're looking at probably the third, fourth quarter of this year, the rollout is going to take place. So that's going to be interesting to see how that moves forward. We've also heard WorldCoin. So WorldCoin, which is basically one of the, obviously, the main guys from ChatGPT. He's also behind WorldCoin. They've basically announced that they're going to be deploying on Optimism, which is obviously interesting as well. And as they're basically saying here, is that they've got 1.6 million signups in the beta right now, 500,000 monthly active. So they have people, the World app users, and then the deployments on OP mainnet will expand access and help WorldCoin reach a values-aligned ecosystem. So they really want to spread their tentacles, essentially. And I think that's the mode on building on a growing L2 stack is going to really take them to another level, they feel. So they're looking at a Optimism collective is building an economic engine that fuels positive sum games. A decentralized identity is central to that goal. So obviously, as you can see, the collaboration of WorldCoin Optimism here, you can see the joint collaboration with the EIP 4844. So obviously this is going to hopefully be deployed, update on Ethereum and the EIP 4844, hopefully within the next few months. I think probably a few months, hopefully towards the end of this year. And obviously the L2 fees will decrease by 10x. So there's a lot really transpiring within this whole ecosystem, giving you a heads up of, obviously, when you take a look at the price, you'll feel that this is a huge sell-off, will probably continue to move lower, but you need to look long-term of what's actually happening within the ecosystem and where you believe this market is actually moving. Now, not financial advice, do your own research, but from a technological, architectural aspect, you can see that there's a lot of works and announcements and upgrades that's really looking to occur. And in addition to the big projects that's going to be building, deploying on the ecosystem, shows you that the long-term EV is quite interesting for OP at the moment. Also, I just wanted for you to take a look at HKM.eth basically created this for the L2 aspect. So you can take a look at who's really leading from Arbitrum, Optimism, ZK Sync, Meta, Startnet. You can clearly see that Arbitrum in terms of TVL, TVL, the swaps, protocols are really leading the way, right? Because they're obviously launched already and they're doing extremely well. Massive growth that's happening on the ecosystem. But I think Optimism's really doing extremely well from building the infrastructure aspect and also the partnerships of top projects. So I think that's what's really helping them from that aspect. So let's just see how things really progress in the future. But just giving you a heads up of where I see this really moving. And we'll be coming to you with another one. Have a fantastic day.